These are two new beautiful Shabad tapes. Today we have to talk on the most important thing, which in a simple language is an art and science by itself. Let us say the human mind, human success, human projection, human personality, human identity, human divinity, human reality, and on I can go till the late night, depends upon the projection of the first word. We are very light about it. Our thinking is not the effectiveness and impact of the word, but it is in the dialogue. We want to create a dialogue. Even though if dialogue is one-sided, we don't mind, it is both-sided, we don't mind, but it's a very much desire of a person to create a dialogue. But when you effectively create a dialogue and you do not create the impact, you actually waste lot of your time and your very special energy, and you leave no impression. You are very afraid of impression. That's why some people want to dress like a commoner, be like a commoner. The tragedy of the human is you want the privileges of the special and you want to look like a commoner. You understand what I'm saying? It's not your fault. It is a common feeling of the human. They want to hide behind the mask. They do not want others people to know them. They do not want to stand out. I don't think Guru Gobind Singh did anything much special than anybody else could not have done it. But he was wise, his understanding was deep, and he was very realistic. He saw the situation, he understood the weakness. He totally realized that only thing is to be done to go ahead with the present time, make people strong, with self-respect, with self-esteem, and with self-identity. Three things. Repeat. Self-respect and self-identity. Any person who doesn't have that will have problems in life. Doesn't matter which religion he belongs to, who he is, and why he is. So what he did? He said these things are essential. So he asked, in the name of his faith, I need a head. 5 people, you know the story, 5 people came through, and what he gave them? He gave them Bana. Bana is nothing but a perpetual identity. It is called uno. Uno means one, form, one thing. In Spanish we call it uno. What do they call Spanish uniform? Huh? Uni? Uni. Uniforme. That's the one thing, you know. Uni means one. Uni means one. Form means one form. No change. It's all 1, 2, 3, all grade the same. Every day a soldier wears one uniform. Every day he takes it off. There's no change. What it gives you? What perpetual wear will give you in your life? All these three things. One thing can give you three things. Why? Ask me. Because you have to stand out and you have to deliver. When you have to deliver and you can't hide behind a mask, you shall be real. When you are real, you are divine. There's no other divinity. Well, if somebody wants to steal money out of you and make a fool of you, go ahead, follow that guy. Be free. Enjoy yourself. You won't reach anywhere. Nobody has ever reached. There is not a one country in the whole world whose most best arm of itself is called army. And army has no uniform. Is there any army? Do you know? What day today is today? Thursday, 19? Today at this hour, do you know any country which has an army and which doesn't have a uniform? So why we ask the army to wear a uniform? So they cannot hide. Why we ask the police to wear uniform? So they cannot hide. Why Guru asks us to wear bana? So we cannot hide. And if a person, why we drink? Because we want to hide. Why we do the daydreaming? We want to hide from realities. We do thousands of things and practice thousands of games and aspects just to hide from our own identity, our own reality, our own personality. So decisively, when you know that you cannot hide, then you know you have to deliver. And when you know you have to deliver, you cannot destroy. And you will be excellent, you will be successful, you will be graceful, you will be powerful, you will be winners. You shall have your victory, fateh. You will be very pure with piety because you have to deliver, and you will cause a very deep impact because you have to win. And that is human. Bana is not a bunch of clothes. We are not a boutique business. Not true. We ask ourselves, whether I want to be identified by all and all the time, or I want not to be identified. If I want to be identified, I am not afraid to create an impact. I want to be known what I am. Then I will be in a wear, parava, asa ishta pasana khan pan paran. I will be in a parava which will control my behavior. I'll have the wear which will control my behavior. Everybody knows this is the policeman, that's a security man, that's the army man, that's a priest, that's a doctor. Why doctor wears that white coat? Why nurse wears that? Why waitress wears that? For every best performance, you need the total identification. You don't agree with me, huh? No. You agree, but you are afraid to agree because then, my God, I have to wear it all the time. I don't have the time to cheat. I mean, I can't put my hair down. One morning I met a beautiful girl. Her turban was crooked. She used to wear a very classical turban. I said, hey, can I talk to you? He said, what? I said, no, I just want to talk to you. I like you. You like me? Yeah. I said, I love you. You love me? Yeah. I really love you. She said, but I have to go somewhere. I said, no, we have to talk. No going anywhere. Come on. I pulled her on the side. We sat down. I told my driver, I said, leave the car. Come in, sit down. Lock the door. I said, hey, where were you last night? No, I didn't go. I say, I'm not asking you a lot of questions, I ask you one simple question. Where were you last night? She said, I can't tell. I say, I understand. But how you know? Sir, tell me, then I'll tell you. I say, I know you from last 15 years. Your turban is perfect. I mean, it's perfectly perfect. Today it is crooked. She said, maybe I have not tied it right. Maybe. I said, no. You must have tried your best. Last night you were somewhere you have a lot of hair. You must have a lot of hair and you were hair down and they were not braided. Therefore today your juda couldn't be in the center. It couldn't be in the crown. Therefore you cannot tie a turban right. I know it, I tie every day. Now tell me where you were. She said, oh God, it's terrible to have you as a teacher. I said, yeah, that I agree. Now, talk to me, tell me. She said, well, my old friend came, we were together in the school, and she wanted to go somewhere and she told me not to go with her in my identity. To please her, I just changed myself. I said, oh, there's no problem. Halloween, huh? So you last night you were wearing a Halloween dress. She said, yes, true. I said, you went to a bar? Sort of. I said, you drank? No, I just tasted. I turned around because I was on the front seat, she was on the back. I said, how many fingers I've got? She said, 1. I said, now 2, 3. I said, no, there are 4. I still you are not out of it. Say, oh my God. Why so? I said, darling, you have been pure. You have been pure for 15 years. You have disciplined for 15 years. You have a character for 15 years. You have a discipline for 15 years. In one day it will affect you much worse than it will have affected anybody else. But how you know? I say, your arc line has 3 holes in it. It means you are neither in your sense, nor in your physical balance, and not in your proper thoughts. Is enough for me to know. I say, I'm your father, I'm your teacher, I'm your guide, I'm your helper. I have no idea to put you down, neither I want to bother you. But do me a favor, see me after 3 days. She came after 3 days. I told her, I say, I want to ask you something, how you feel? She said, I have a terrible headache. I feel miserable. I'm very sorry what I did. But I just did it for 1 day. I say, you took a 1 ton of milk and you 1 drop of lemon in it. It splits. Is that a punishment or what? I said, don't lay the guilt. It's a fact, it's a reality. Higher you are, deeper is the fall. Yes, it is our nature not to be identified. It's very strange. Turn the air circulated, it just bothers. It doesn't matter how great you are, it doesn't matter how weak you are. But I'd like to ask you today, very honestly, and don't be afraid to answer me, I know the answer myself. Just I want the cooperation. I want to ask you, concentrate on your honesty. How many of you wants the best benefits and wants the least identification? Raise your hand. Be honest. Assess it properly. Okay, just to test your, I know the answer. How many of you wants to be identified and get the best answers, best of everything? Raise your hands. Now these are the liars, note them. It's not human nature. It is not in your spermatozoa, it is not in your egg. It is not the way you are made. It is not the way the planet Earth runs. It's not the truth. You all want one thing. You all want not to be identified, not to sweat, not to work, not to be grounded and grinded, and you want it all. Am I right? Then why you lied? You know I know the answer. Now convince me why you lied. Because you want to dodge. That's the nature, that's the human nature. The moment human is straight, simple, and does it with a smile, that human is God. There's no other God. And many moment wants to be identified. She is the purest, the most successful, and invincible. For a woman who is a moon, who is winning and waxing and fast mind and 16 times more intelligence than a man, God, if that individual tries to say, I am, there's nothing more to be done. Only there are two ways on this earth. One is you live and go after all your desires. One is you sit and let all desire manifest at your lotus feet. Tahal mahal tanko mila jagwe sant karpal. If the saint in you blesses you, then all services and palaces and things will be at your disposal. Otherwise you shall sweat. When as a human you identify, what happens? I want the answer. We are called upon. One answer. You relate to your greatness and not to your weakness. You deliver. You come through. You can't hide. You take the risk. You even go beyond yourself to justify your existence, right? Identification, yeah. Come on. You elevate. This is all true.
You have to watch the way you act.
You watch the way you act. Very good. Come on. You represent something larger than yourself. Great, come on, and one little. We are all around it. The central thing, yeah. You most likely to be persecuted. That's a fear. No, there's a fear complex in that. That's true. You can be spontaneous. Yeah. That's true. You have impact. That's true. You can?
Confirm yourself.
You can confirm yourself. You identify yourself. That's what you're doing. You're identifying yourself. You're confirming yourself. That's exactly right. You are fearless. Next. You live to your great expectation. Very progressively right. Absolutely, nothing wrong in it. You project infinity. Can you word it differently? Oh, that's true, you elevate others, you influence others, when you identify yourself, lot of good things happens.
You represent your country
You represent your profession, you represent your consciousness, you represent your skill, you represent your alertness, you perform, you deliver, etc., etc., etc. Plus many more things. But when you identify yourself, God identifies with you. Whatever that God is, there was a man walking on the shore. There were footsteps of two people. After a while, there were footsteps of one person. One who followed you met him, he said, Father, when I start coming after you to find you, I found there are steps of two people, so I thought you were going and something is going with you. At one point, there were steps of only one father, one person. I was shocked what happened. But I'm very glad to see you. He's a son. At one time, God was walking with me. At that moment when there was one foot, one human prince, at that time he took me in his lap and reached me here. The only human charisma and the miracle which Guru Gobind Singh taught us and proved it, and is a proven fact in the life of the man and understanding, that whenever a person is very willing with heart and head to identify himself and herself, the Almighty God identifies with that person. You become then infinite force, you have then infinite impact, and you have then impact, perpetual life fulfillment. But it's very difficult. Everybody cheats on it. And that is our human weakness, avoidance. We are not sure. We play the games. We think we shall not be caught, etc., etc., etc. If you say that you go to a college, you will study, yes. You will learn in a college to be. You go to a profession, you can learn to be. You practice, you can be. But if you want a perpetual impact of life, of yours, then you have to learn one thing and one thing alone, that you can learn to identify yourself under every even and odd environments and circumstances. That's why in a religion like ours, we were over 80,000 people. The 10th master took a steel out and asked the head. We offered, one after the other, 5 times. Later, to surprise of everybody, he brought 5 people in a bana, in a uniform, in an identity, and said to them, "You are my beloved one." That's why in our Das, after the Gurus and Sri Guru Granth, the ruling Guru, we ask for first the Panch Pyare and the 4 beautiful martyrs, 4 Sahibzade, 40 Mukte, 40 liberated ones. Why we talk about that? We talk about them not because they were great or small. It is a historical fact to remember that these people identified themselves and became great. In your life, all knowledge, intelligence, consciousness, powers, God bless you. But when you have the courage to identify yourself, at that time only God identifies with you. Just remember it in the very secret corner of your heart. When you don't want to be identified, you are denying your God, your strength, and your soul. Just remember that too. And I am saying it's not untrue that we do not want to identify, because it is human nature to get best of the benefits and try to get least known. Because you feel if you get all the benefits, you are known, perhaps somebody will steal it away, somebody will count you out, somebody will ask for it. Your hiding nature is very powerful nature. Your identifying nature is your real nature, but it's very rare nature. If you cannot, are you with me? If you cannot learn to identify yourself on the earth, you shall never be successful to identify yourself before your own Almighty God. Doesn't matter to which religion you belong to. If you are a Christian, identify before your Christ. If you are a Buddhist, identify with your Buddha. If you are a Muslim, identify you with your Muhammad. But must you identify? I learned this in my life. It's a very practical story of my own life. One evening, I picked up my cycle. I wanted to test it out. It was a new, very good rally cycle, and it was a high-speed cycle. So I said, let me test it out. I got on it. I remember I was wearing a very colorful, flowery bush and a very tight pant. And I am wearing my turban in a sports fashion. So I was actually pressing myself to practice kind of cycle race. Only in a cycle race you would put that cycle gear, protection gear on your head over your turban. That was the only part missing. And I was almost in that because I was exercising. So I just had a mind, let me get up. Then I thought, where to go? I said, let me check my arm guard, pay a visit to them. I thought I'll make it in no time. But after all, when you go on a car, that's a different story than you go on a cycle. When I reached the headquarters office, it was late evening and sun has already gone. It was not very dark, but pretty dark. I very cleverly put the cycle on one side without creating any noise, and very soft foot I just walked towards the gate. I entered the lane and I remember myself. There was that drawing line. Moment I was near it, there came a big thud and a shining rifle with a bayonet and a very powerful sound behind it. Halt! Who comes there? I even understood the guard on duty by voice could recognize. That day I was in a mischief mood. I hesitated to answer. And then very thundering sound came. Who comes there? That was the second time. And I knew there was a click sound with it. It means the bullet has gone into the barrel. Because he cocked the rifle. And I knew third time the bullet will go through me, doesn't matter what I do now. And I immediately said, "Friend!" He said, "Password." I knew the password, I gave him the password. Then this click again came, it means the bullet has come out of the barrel. And he said, "Pass, friend, all is well." Rifle came down, and then there was a lot of sounds and systems and noise, because they recognize their commanding officer has come, that they have to turn the whole guard to give the salute and etc., etc. That was a formality. I went through it, checked it, took the salute, inspected, wrote the note. I came, Baba, came back, ran on my cycle and flee. But on my way I thought, I have faced something today. Without identification, death doesn't wait anymore. If I would not have identified myself with the password, that bullet, without any reason, would have gone through the center of my chest. In spite of the fact, if I could have recognized the man on duty as my soldier, he must have recognized on duty I am his commanding officer. But without that identifying word, there's no relationship. So between you as a human and your God, without identity, there's no relationship. And between you and your earth surrounding you, without identity, there's no word. And without word, there's no life. The first word you utter must identify you. It should be your password. Otherwise, you will have more pain in your life than happiness. Technically speaking, if you make up your mind that your first word will reveal your identity, you will have all what you need in your life fairly and squarely. And may I know what is the first word, please? The greeting. When we say Satnam to each other, we identify self. Literally, Satnam means my identity is true. And in identification, we believe the totality is true. And there's no hiding. We are not very prosperous and progressive in a short while because we have done some miracle or we know some secret science. Our highest secret is, from day one, we have learned to identify ourselves openly and honestly. This open honesty has saved us from many tragedies. Sometimes we do have tragedies, we have difficulties, I'm not denying it, It's only at that time we start trying to play hide and game with us. Please remember the act of God. He gave you life, the soul, which not you can see, feel, but it keeps you alive. And He gave you the combination of five tattvas, the body, so that you can identify. Now, through this body, identify your soul. That is dharma. Don't go into complications of all sorts and many sorts. It won't serve your purpose. It won't give you happiness. It won't fulfill your life. You will lead a very unfulfilled, painful life if you do not know a very simple thing. Through this body as a vehicle, through your soul in yourself, learn to speak the first word to identify yourself forever. That's why our greetings are very special. Our wear is very special. We are very special. All three things qualify our one desire. I want to be known. In the eyes of myself, in the eyes of my surroundings, and the eyes of my God. And such a person will have happiness, fulfillment, and prosperity. Do you understand? Any question? I have a question. Where should get the courage to do it? Courage. It can come from the fact that all of us deeply and effectively want to be happy, prosperous, and powerful. It is also our very inner desire. And one thing can give us all. Yeah.
Sir, yesterday when you mentioned that when we speak as a woman, that we must reach the neuron of the person listening to, I think you said something about the 3.5 psyche to a certain voltage. How do we do that effectively, scientifically?
It's very painful to answer this question, let me tell you. No woman is good enough not to insult herself. But every woman who speaks and does not understand the voltage and the frequency of sound system insults herself forever. God made you that way to be respected. But when your frequency is not right and your sound has no voltage, you cause insult. You cannot escape insult then. Your respect and reverence depends upon your first utterance of the word. That's what I said yesterday. You can say something very severely damaging and painful, but if you say it in a correct, impact way, identifying yourself and you can go through, it will be very well respected. But the same words can cause lot of insult and pain because your frequency and the voltage behind it of the sound current was not correct. It's not matter what you say. It does matter a lot how you say it. That's what I said. The other person says, you bitch. I didn't say anything. This is the automatic response. You know what I mean? You are still the guy walks away, shuts the door, out he goes. For you it looks might be normal. Other man's it's a living hell, can't stand it. It doesn't matter what you say. How you say it matters a lot. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. If you are in a second chakra and you are not using the sixth chakra, you shall be raped. If you are using a second chakra and you are not using your crown, you will be killed. If not, at least beaten very severely. If you are using the fourth chakra with the first chakra, God, you cannot even escape the man. Combination of chakras is very powerful. Because that projectivity has to create a reaction. Don't you see these common things? Well, dear, I don't know where are you coming from. You know what I mean? You know what it means in a man's language? No. No. In a man's language is, you better be dead. In a man's language, you have absolutely no connection and relationship with that man. And next minute when you speak, you start all over again. That is so much is the impact of that language of a man when he tells you, honey, I don't know where you're coming from. It's a very simple language. But in the man's language it means, God, you're dead. I don't know who you are. You must understand, man has a very quick, sharp judgment, self-preserving nature. He doesn't deliver babies. He doesn't get pregnant. He doesn't turn blood into milk. He's not your kind. Have you heard this when a man says, my dear, I'm sorry, thank you very much, it will not happen again. You must have heard all that. You know what I mean? In his language, my dear bitch, I'll never talk to you. And you won't see me on shadow what to say of my personality. Give me a chance. I'll do you in such a place you'll never get up again alive. That's what he's saying actually to you. When a man is polite, he's deadly. If he's abusive and angry, he's inside out the same dirty man. That's much better than a diplomatic man who's saying, please, it just slipped out of my mouth. You won't hear it again. Are you kidding? All he's saying, give me a chance and I'll kill you. It is not which man. All men are of the same frequency. Trust a man's sweet language when he is wrong. You must be out somewhere. When a man is wrong and he is sweet, game is over. It is perpetual in the very nature of the man. When he's wrong, to defend himself, he has to be angry, yell and scream, shut the door, get out. After 2 hours, he says, where is my food? That's natural. But that you can take it. The electromagnetic field, in contrast to his electromagnetic psyche, does not have that rhythm and length which you have. That's the way God made it. I'm sorry, I'll ask him next time, why so? Or he can tell me, I can goof too. That's always be God's answer. Or he'll say, my computer went dead, I don't know what happened, something went wrong. Or he may say, yogis, that's why we produce yogis, to correct things. Or he'll say, but the psychologist and psychiatrist and the counselor all go without job. I don't know, something he'll make it up. But fact is a fact. If the frequency of the psyche and psychomagnetic field would have been the same and consistent, all men and women would live in absolute harmony. There would not have any need of dharma at all. And nobody would have been corrupt. It is the short-circuiting capacity of the male and long waiting of the female, which never can be the same, causes the whole world to run around. That's the way God made it. I asked him many times this question, hi God, why you did that? He said, what to you? What to you? I'm the creator, shut up. So I can't give you a right answer. One day when I asked, what it would have been matter for you just to put the same frequency formula when producing the two guys and everything would have been perfect. He said, I don't want perfect word. I want to be remembered, worshipped and adored. I am the perfect one. I said, the perfect one can only create the word perfect. He said, that's the Maya. People have to find it out. I said, what? He said, I am the perfect in the imperfect. I said, it's very difficult for this earthling to find that out. He said, well, what is your job? Do your job. Don't try to be lazy. That's why I'm teaching when I'm coughing. You understand? You know, you talk to your friends. I have only one friend. I talk to him too. God, if you see me questioning God and talking to Him and answering and questioning, you'll see that day you'll find Yogiji has gone lunatic. But I love this Juno style. It's good. There's nobody more loving to you than your own voice and that feeble inner voice of the consciousness. The total strength of God shall be with you, my dear girls, and you'll save yourself being grilled on the furnace of this earth and its Maya if you learn one thing. And I repeat thrice, identify, identify, and identify. The Almighty God shall identify with you. Thank you, and God bless you. Can you put this tape on, this...
Jiyo Pavatiyo Rakhala Hum Saran Prabha Aaye Ram Raje Hum Pura Vigare Din Sarat Hara Laj Rakhaye Hum Baragatu Guru Pita Hai De Mat Samajaye Jan Nanak Dasa Har Khandiya Har Pad Rakhaye Jan Nanak Dasa Har Khandiya Har Pad Rakhaye
Meanwhile, find out that tape. Sword in his hand and bleeding, and you know what.
Jiyo Pavatiyo Rakhala Hum Saran Prabha Aaye Ram Raje Jiyo Pavatiyo
She has not eaten this year Chavanprash, I think.
Hum Saran Prabha Aaye Ram Raje
Louder. Everybody sing please with it.
He walked into the room so silently and looked at him straight into the eyes. He said, I don't fear your hate or anger, and neither do I fear your earthly might. And we heard the sound of steel clashing, and the blood of a saint dripping from the sword. Those who wait to be reborn in the glory of the name, they're like flowers in the rain, waiting for the sun till their soul shall be reborn in the body of a saint who shall live forever in the hearts of those who know love. He stood on Baisakhi Day with steel in his hand, asking for the hand of a brave young one. And many did they run away, and many did they hide. But those who gave their lives to him, their souls were glorified. And we heard the sound of steel clashing, and blood dripping from the master's sword. Those who wait to be reborn in the glory of the name, they're like flowers in He raised us from the dirt and mud and made each one a man. He told us how to live as saints and to always be as one. He told us of the days ahead and to learn to sacrifice. For it's not to die that matters, it's the courage in your life. For to die for truth is to live forever. Though for some the cycle of fear shall never end. Just like flowers in the rain, waiting for the sun till their soul shall be reborn in the body of a saint who shall live forever in the hearts of those who love God, in the hearts of those who love God, in the hearts of those who
In the holy waters, dress your altar with flowers. When will I walk on the cold marble again? When will I walk on the cold marble again? When will I feel the golden light in my eyes? Bathing the holy waters, dress your altar with flowers. When will I walk on the cold marble again? The silence of death has killed the song so ageless, the turning of the pages, the prayers of the pure. The waters turn red, the sky above has darkened. Amidst these walls of silence, our prayers can be heard. When will I walk on the cold marble again? When will I feel the golden light in my eyes? Bathing the holy waters, dress your altar with flowers. When will I walk on the cold marble again? The earth cries in pain, her heart has been broken. Her sons have been stolen, imprisoned and slain. But those who remain, their spirit grows stronger. They suffer no longer, sheltered in the name. And soon we will walk on the cold marble again. Soon we will feel the golden light in our eyes. Bathing the holy waters, dress your altar with flowers. Soon we will walk on the cold marble again. We shall rise again in grace and strength together. We'll sing our song forever
righteousness will reign. The banner of the name will wave in skies of glory, as time will write our story. We sing never again. Soon we will walk on the cold marble again. Soon we will feel the golden light in our eyes. Bathe in the holy waters, dress your altar with flowers. Soon we will walk on the cold marble again. Soon we will walk on the cold marble again. When will I walk on?
Well, I have only one dilemma. Some of you do not think at the distance, but short-term things sometimes cloud our judgment. Let me put the things in my own words. If possible, we call ourselves Sikhs and we pretend to be, and for any circumstances and environments, we can break the link of our children with those 11 million who hope to see you one day, and take away from your children the link, the depth and the strength, because you could not decide in totality, and your emotional reality came to be false. You shall bear the burden of cruelty to the future generation of the Khalsa. Not the impact of you will matter, but your cowardly act will rebound, and your decision will bring you your own hatred as your own enemy. If you cannot stretch your hand of strength now, and you cannot educate your children to understand, then you are missing something most dear, precious, and very pure. Isn't the life that matters? Is the courage we bring to it. And it's not the victory, it's the sacrifice we put on it. Just remember that one source of strength which has given us the ultimate strength to rule this planet, as the time shall lead it to be. The time is the call every mother to spare every child, to keep that golden link, so we may feel we did our best in the name of the one who gave us all, in a very small way. Just remember, I said so, and just understand, you heard the word, Satnam. May the long time
Shine upon you, all of us around.
Satnam, we have a very honorable guest. Gyani Swan Singh came to us from Vancouver, very independent in nature, has totally and selflessly served the community, and we shall be in a position to I shall ask him to come tomorrow to tell you, in his own words, the story as he feels the happiness in man in relation to the world today stands. God bless you. Thank you very much. Have a good night's sleep, without rain at least.
When will I walk on the cold marble again? When will I feel the golden light in my eye? Bathe in the holy waters, dress your altar with flowers. When will I walk on the cold marble earth?